Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back to another review. As always, I've got my good friend, It's Classified, aka Nick, with me. And the subject of this review is the much underrated, supremely good, dear God, if you have a PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PC, or even a Switch, you need to go out and play right now. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. It was announced over the summer, came out really quickly in October by Eidos Montreal, who's famous for the Deus Ex games. But this game is so good.
If everyone was hesitant because of the Avengers, which justifiably so, the Avengers was bad, this is the apology for that.
Yes,
absolutely.
From a different studio, Eidos Montreal, righting the sins of Crystal Dynamics. We felt it very pertinent to do this review because I think both of us have the Guardians of the Galaxy in our top 5 games of 2021, which we'll get that list out later this month. But it took both of us by surprise.
I mean, I don't think we were too surprised. We both were actually looking forward to it compared to everyone else. Mm-hmm. But I didn't expect to like it as much as I did.
Well, that's exactly what I mean.
I mean, you're not going to put it above Spider-Man. I am.
Well, no,
which is crazy.
No, I'm
not. But I mean, yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Both of us were looking forward to it because granted, we're a little bit into the industry more than like the average gamer, but we kind of saw the writing on the wall. Like, okay, there's no microtransactions. This is a single player game. You know, this looks like it's going to be a good time. And the marketing, unlike with both of us with Deathloop, I think the marketing basically just like targeted us pretty significantly.
Oh yeah, I mean, it wasn't heavily marketed. I feel. I mean, they kind of put it out there and then just let it kind of
in the weeks leading up to it was more marketed than anything. We had at work we had a pretty loud trailer playing through the entire month, so
that's fair.
But it was to Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue, so okay, cool. I mean
that's not a problem.
That was the best part of the day when that kicked off. I was like, all right, I get 2 minutes of classic rock, and then we go back to whatever else is on GSTV. Great.
Oh god, I mean that's a good segue though to first address the soundtrack of this game, since you just brought up that. It's amazing. I mean, it's very much if you like the mixtape from the movies, you're gonna like this. It's the same idea that went with.
Yeah, if you like the mixtape from the MCU movies, but like you would replace the 60s and 70s stuff on there with more 80s stuff, that's exactly what this is. Like, the soundtrack's completely from the 80s, and it is amazing. As someone that is the biggest music fan from the 80s, it is just right up my alley in every single way. I mean, from Rick Astley to Blondie to Pat Benatar to Motley Crue to Iron Maiden. Like, there's so much crazy stuff on here, and I think that's my only complaint about the game, and we'll just get it right out of the way, is that I couldn't stream the game because of all of the licensed music.
Neither could I, but I mean, honestly, at the end, that's a sacrifice worth.
Oh yeah, no, that's such a stupid complaint. I mean, I have one other complaint, but it's also stupid. But in the music category, like, I would have really enjoyed streaming this game because some of my reactions to some of the things that were going on were so funny and genuine and happy. Like, just like our Ratchet and Clank review, which is still not up because I fucked up the editing. But we said in that game, that review, that game is just super fun, and this is another feel good, just fun game. And out of the first seconds of the game, the soundtrack took me, because the most unique thing about this is they wanted to still let people stream the game, so they needed a soundtrack that they could use for streamers that wasn't licensed. So they literally made a band called Star-Lord, and they made a
soundtrack.
Yeah, they made a whole soundtrack, and it's actually super dope. I've listened to it on repeat since the game came out.
I mean, what's remarkable about it is there's a lot of like 80s cover bands out there that they're trying to be the 80s, but they don't sound like it. They're trying and failing. If you would have not given me any context who this band is and just played the music that told me from the 80s, I would have believed you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super good. So like I could have streamed it and still enjoyed the Star-Lord music that I'm still enjoying today, but there's something special about calling a huddle and then Never Gonna Give You Up pops on, or I Love It Loud by Kiss comes on, or like all of those kind of things. Like the licensed music really does kind of make the experience, because you know that Peter Quill, Star-Lord, is a fan of this stuff too. And so that's the importance of it, is like this song means something to him. And so it's so good. It's so good. I all throughout high school I wore leather pants and snakeskin print pants to try to revive the 80s the best that I could. And so this all just hits so home to me, and I love every second of it.
That must have been a sight to see.
Yeah, I had to. There was several conversations given to me about what was school appropriate and not school appropriate to wear. But that is another story for another day. We're talking Guardians.
Let's get back to the track. I don't want to.
Yeah, so it was kind of it did kind of suck to not stream it, because I think some of those interactions with the game would be really fun to have on stream, and maybe I will still stream it with the Star-Lord music. But there's just something special about playing through it for the first time, and you call that huddle, and you never know which of the songs is going to pop up.
Or I shouldn't name the specific song, but the song "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
Yeah.
I was in the final boss and I called a huddle, and that's what started playing. Just like, this song does not fit the scenario whatsoever.
Yeah, and those are the best ones. Those are the best ones. Those are the best ones. Like it's always fun too, because like I'd accidentally hit huddle sometimes because some of the button layouts, and I never was upset about it, because I'm just like, okay, this battle's about done, but I'm gonna get like a minute of some of my favorite music. All right, cool. And it comes back up so regularly. It's like, okay, cool, whatever, man.
You're not really always in danger of losing it, so it won't be on for long.
Yeah. So the music is great. I think that's the most dynamic thing about the game. Well, not the most dynamic thing. I think that's one of the most prevalent things about the game, because and I mean that's one of the most prevalent things in the Guardians mythos in general, and I think IDS Montreal nailed that.
Oh yeah. I mean,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was saying, man, it's kind of a good thing to say with the nail, because I mean, also with Guardians mythos, and they nailed the Guardians themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Groot's Groot. I mean, you can't really change who Groot is. I mean, he only says 3 words, so what can you do with that? And Drax is just still Drax.
Yeah.
If you know from the MCU. But Rocket, Star-Lord, and Gamora, they aren't 1-to-1 with their MCU counterparts, but honestly, I think they're better for it.
Yeah, I would agree.
I honestly think I like these better than the movies, which is crazy, because I never thought I would say that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's like with Star-Lord specifically, I think he's the most drastic changed over.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the MCU, I mean, Chris Pratt does a good job of playing Star-Lord, but Star-Lord in the MCU is an idiot. I mean, he doesn't, in the Infinity War, he doesn't know that Missouri's on Earth. Whereas this Star-Lord is not stupid. He knows he's from Earth. He knows where all that stuff is. He's just cocky.
Yeah.
But he's cocky in the sense of, he's not, an asshole cocky. He's just trying to be cool cocky and always blows up in his face.
Yeah. And I think that's like, as a Marvel Comics fan, like that's Star-Lord to a T.
Yeah.
Like Star-Lord gets like godly powers, and like still is like this just down home like earthly dude that's just like a goofball, and that's exactly what I want out of a Star-Lord like personality, and the game nails it 100%. I think Gamora is kind of in the same boat as Drax. I think Gamora and Drax's banter is some of the best in the game, but they went with a more comic book accurate representation of Gamora, where she's just this like ex-assassin, kind of a hard ass with like a heart of gold type thing, and they kept that to her.
Yeah, I think
I,
in the movie she's a bit more self-serious, whereas in this version she's still serious. That's just who Gamora is.
yeah,
But she's also snarky,
yeah,
which was kind of great.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, she was much more sarcastic and kind of standoffish. And then yeah, I think the biggest most drastic change to me it would be Rocket, because at first glance it just seems like he's a gun-toting maniac like he is in the MCU movies, but he has more depth in this game. I think he's closer to Rocket from Guardians 2 than Guardians 1, where he actually does have a heart and he does care about Peter and he does care about the Guardians, just doesn't know how to show it. But he's a lot more he's a lot bigger of a leader in this game too, because in some instances it's Rocket leading the team with Star-Lord just kind of like running to catch up type thing, which I like that dynamic a little bit.
He does wear his emotions more on his sleeve in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of the Guardians representations were great. All of the voice acting is great.
I would argue that their performances, specifically from Star-Lord and Gamora, are the best performances of the year for game wise.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm trying to think of anybody else, and I really cannot. So yeah, no, I would agree with that. I mean, and this is of course both of us not playing Deathloop and a couple other major games of the year, but I would definitely agree. I mean,
we're not getting a Deathloop.
No, definitely Star-Lord's my favorite performance of the year. This Star-Lord, I was right there with him every single way, and most of it was because of his performance in the game. Like it's just great. It's just great. He checks all the boxes. I love all of their designs. I think a lot of people harped on the designs a little bit when the trailer first showed over the summer, and I'm like, nope, this is fine. And the only thing I would say I don't like is maybe Rocket's goatee, but like, whatever. If that's your interpretation, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I don't care. I think Star-Lord's design in this game is cooler than his MCU one. Like hands down.
I like the origin of his name in this, where he just closed the door because it was a band he liked.
Yeah. So the little bit about the game. So that mentioning that band again that we did in the last segment. They're called Star-Lord, and so that's Peter's favorite childhood band when he was a teenager in the '80s. And so when he gets kidnapped by the by the Chitharians in this one, he was wearing Star-Lord merchandise, and that's why they call him Star-Lord, because they thought it was his name on the back of his vest when it was just band merchandise. And I think that's just genius.
Oh yeah, no, it is. Definitely is. There's also a lot of genius things they do with it. I mean, if you notice, and when you play through the game, Drax never calls Peter without his full name. It's always Peter Quill, no matter what.
Yeah, Peter Quill. Peter Quill. Peter Quill.
I always thought it was great.
Yeah, no, and then like Star Wars exists in this universe.
Yeah, the Chewie toy throughout the game.
The Chewbacca toy. And Iron Maiden exists in this universe too. I mean, which makes sense because they're part of the soundtrack. But like in the opening of the game, he picks up a wristband that he got from an Iron Maiden concert, and it's Steve Harris's, which is the bassist of Iron Maiden's. Of Iron Maiden, it's his wristband. I'm like, I'm listening. I'm like, oh my god, what?
Tron also exists in the game.
Yeah, Tron also exists. Yeah, so it just. This game just oozes personality, and I'm so glad that Eidos Montreal got to have fun with it, because like you can tell that they had a ton of fun making this game. Just a ton of it. All of the smaller comic book references, all of the bigger comic book references, all of the fun little goofs and gags across. I mean, some of the stuff that the Guardians talk about when you just sit and stand in the Milano and just listen to them, some of the stuff they say is just off the wall.
I love the part where you're just walking around and you can just see Drax reading a book, and it's a book on sarcasm.
Yeah,
the man's trying, but he ain't succeeding.
Like the game just, oh man, if I had to pick a game for most personality of the year, it would be Guardians.
Oh, absolutely.
It would just be Guardians.
It's the best story this year, I would say, also as well. I mean, it won Best Narrative Game Award, so, and deservedly so.
Yeah. I know this game is so good. Just go out and buy it. Like we're not even to the end of the review. We're not giving a review score yet, but go out and buy it. Just go out and buy it. It's $40 right now. Go out and buy it. Like that's
Yeah.
go out and buy it. I bought the $80 special edition and didn't regret it at all. So go out and
No,
buy
absolutely
it.
not. I mean, it's on everything.
Mhm.
I mean, the Switch version is probably the version because it's cloud. So
Yeah.
yeah,
but-
we'll find a better option if you have it. But other than that, play it.
Yeah, and then talking about more about the gameplay, and one of my favorite things that they do, they take a weird page out of Telltale's playbook and have you make decisions, because in the game you only play as Star-Lord, and you can call in, and we'll talk more about the gameplay in a bit, but you can call in your allies, but you only play as Star-Lord, and so Star-Lord has his own voice, and he'll be the first to give it, but there are moments where you get to choose between a couple different options, and they do actually affect the gameplay. Like everything that you choose to do gets followed up on in some sort of way. And so like one of the earliest examples is when you land on Lady Hellbender's planet, you can tell Drax to throw Rocket across this gap, and or not to, and he does it anyways because it's scripted, so he does it anyways. But whether or not you told him to do it affects how Rocket perceives you later in the game in that same level when some shit hits the fan. So it's just so interesting, and so we actually had different experiences throughout. So you in your first mission you get some money to pay off the Nova Corps, because you were in the first mission you are not supposed to be in a place, and then so you do another mission, you get paid, and so you go to Nowhere, which is this giant city in a Celestial's head, and that's where our playthroughs kind of deviated a little bit. Nick was a goody choo-choos and did not spend any of his money. And my thought process was the Nova Corps is being taken over by the prophecy, so I'm gonna spend my money. So I gambled a little bit. I went to see the collector's museum.
Here's the thing: it's not that I didn't want to spend the money; is I didn't know I could spend the money.
Yeah.
I started walking towards my objective, like, okay, this is where the story's going.
I got ripped off. I got ripped off by a street vendor, and Rocket got mad at me.
All that happened to me was I got pickpocketed by a bunch of kids.
Yeah, see, that didn't happen to me because I was broke.
You didn't go to the bar though, which the bar has like one of the best scenes of the game.
I didn't go into the bar. I didn't even know where the bar was. I explored Nowhere pretty significantly, but yeah, you're the second person to tell me that I missed the bar scene. So what is this mysterious bar scene? I know that Peter sings with an alien.
Yeah, the alien comes in and like points a gun at him, and everyone's like freaking out, like what the hell's going on? And this is the point of the game where also like, it should be how to spoil one because we're gonna slightly spoil the game at this point because we're doing this, so slightly spoilers. Rocket's kind of pissed at you right at the moment, and this alien has Peter at gunpoint, and Rocket's just gonna let it happen. Like he does not care. So he's talking to him and going, "Do you remember that promise we made?" And Peter's just confused. The thing was, they sang, I guess when Peter was drunk a long time ago, he sang the Space Rider song from Star-Lord with this alien, and the alien took it as a promise. So you have to re-sing the song to prove that you remember that promise. And so Peter's just trying to like remember the whole thing.
That
and
is
you have two
hilarious.
options. You have options to pick what the lyrics are, which, I mean, the lyrics are kind of obvious what the quick one is.
Yeah.
Once you're done singing, everyone's all having five and having a good time. But you ask the alien, like, if I didn't remember, would you have shot me? He goes, oh yeah, I definitely would have shot you.
I am going to go back and New Game Plus it because I'm super close to platinuming it. So now I have to go see that scene now.
It's great. I was dying. No, what's funny is you mentioned I didn't spend the money. I get that there's another scene where you confront Nova Corps, and you can pay the fine if you want to.
Yep.
Which will slightly affect the choice later in the line. We didn't either, but you didn't pay the fine because you didn't have the money.
Exactly.
I chose screw off the Nova Corps. You just want to do nothing. Fine, I'm leaving with the money. So.
Yeah, You think you're gonna get away with it, and then at the very end of the game, they pull the rug out from underneath you.
I mean, honestly, it makes the ending more Guardians-esque. If you
Oh
just,
yeah,
like,
oh
fly off the
100%,
distance, like,
100%. Yeah, and then like you can choose to hide weapons or a llama, and if you choose to hide the weapons, you get better weapons for the flight missions later down the road, and that's so fun.
so did
to
you still have a
me.
llama on your ship then when if you chose to hide the weapons?
Yeah.
I had the llama.
Yeah, it results in a higher fine.
Okay.
Because they literally fine you for having a weapon of mass destruction. Like the llama is a weapon of mass destruction because it has like it can like release a pathogen or something.
All right, and they still let it keep on the ship.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Because
Well,
I guess I mean it's not. I'm not. I don't know. I guess they didn't want it. Like I don't know.
all right.
I don't know.
I had the llama, so I was just like, of course I had the llama throughout this playthrough because I hit him.
Yeah. No. They just charge you for a higher fine, and they're like, you use it, we'll come after you. I guess I don't know.
All right. Llama of mass destruction. Okay.
LMD.
Oh god.
But let's go. Let's talk about the gameplay now. So
This is probably it's still good. This is probably the weakest part of the game. It does get, in my opinion, a little repetitive just because all you're doing is shooting stuff. Because that's really all Star Wars can do.
So take Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, get rid of their melee combat, and that's the gameplay for Star-Lord is shooting stuff over and over and over and over and over again. And there are some variations and stuff. So like I mentioned earlier, you can call in your friends to use their abilities to do more damage or to stun things or to group enemies up so that you can blow them up using rocket stuff. Like there is a little bit more nuance than just sitting and shooting, but Star-Lord particular, he runs around, he shoots, and then as the game progresses, you get access to your elemental guns. Mm-hmm. And those do change up the combat quite a bit, but only in the sense that a character will have a special shield, and you switch to that weapon to knock down that shield, and then continue on what you're doing.
Yeah. So I wasn't, a lot of people complain, they didn't want to play the game because you couldn't play as the other Guardians. I didn't mind that. It just, Star-Lord could probably use a bit more tweaking, give him a bit more, and granted, he's not a martial artist, but he could have used a bit more melee, I guess, to have it liven up the streaks and everything. Which I'm hoping to make a sequel so they can fix some of that, because this game deserves that absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, so there is some light RPG elements where you can spend these materials to give Star-Lord upgrades, but I felt like the upgrades were really, really light. So there were a couple good. There's your normal shield increase and health increase, shield recharge. You unlock an active reload for Star-Lord that basically keeps you firing, so that's really, really nice. But like outside of that, like there really wasn't a whole lot for him, and so I wish they would have maybe given the like elemental guns different powers, or like unlocked more combat opportunities for Star-Lord, or even just new abilities, because each character only has 4 abilities.
Yeah.
Which is super light. Like at about like 60% of the game, I had unlocked all of their abilities, and then their 4th ability gets unlocked for story reasons. So like about at the halfway point of the game, if you're performing well, you'll stop earning the points to unlock the abilities. So maybe if they would have given characters more abilities, maybe if they would have given Star-Lord more options in terms of what his upgrades were. I think that would have changed up the gameplay a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, it really is just pointing and shooting. It's run and gunning throughout the most of the game. I mean, you pretty much do the same things. I mean, if you encounter a boss, you stagger him, you get the stagger meter up, you call Gamora in to do a big hit while you're unloading on it, and then rinse and repeat.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of basic. It is the weakest part of the game, but this game, it was created to service its story. That's what first and foremost what it was going for.
Yeah.
And it succeeded in that in spades.
Yeah, I still think the gameplay's fun. It just like towards the end of the game where you're not like earning any more rewards points for your performance in battles, and the enemies become a little bit more bullet spongy. Like that's when things kind of get out of hand and kind of get on the boring side. So just a little bit of staleness towards the end of the game. But I mean, I think that the game does enough to vary up the stuff that you do in between the battles a little bit. Like there's some puzzle solving and some light puzzle solving, excuse me, and some some platforming challenges to like get to places to unlock things and stuff like that. There's lots of different collectibles that you can find, like the different costumes and stuff like that. So I do feel like they try to do a good job about breaking up. I think they know how monotonous the gameplay is, and they try to fix it a little bit.
Yeah. And I mean, this was all just in service of the story. That's what the in-game move all was. So it's fine. It does the job. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just it is get repetitive.
Yeah. And again, some like I think if they would have changed up the elemental powers in some way or something, or given Star-Lord more upgrades, I think it would have been a little bit better. Because I like at the beginning of the game, I was like, I'm never going to use the melee, but like towards the end of the game, I was using the melee like all the time.
Oh yeah, it helped finish off some enemies and just take care of some things. So, I definitely was using melee more as the game went on.
Yeah. So if they would have given more abilities to help with that, maybe even just up in your combo from 3 hits to 4 hits, he took some lessons from Drax and Gamora. Like, I think it would have made it a little bit stronger.
Yeah, so there's room for improvement. I think I'm hoping Square Enix sees that this game is doing well. I mean, I hope it's doing well. I don't know the sales numbers for it. I'm hoping it sold more than Avengers did. I'm really hoping that. I mean, that shouldn't be a high bar to pass, but Avengers did some damage.
Yes. Yep. And I hope this is the first of many Guardians of the Galaxy games by Eidos. I mean, Marvel games are kind of having quite a big boom right now. We faltered a little bit with Marvel's Avengers. It's okay. We got Wolverine and Spider-Man 2 on the horizon. It's okay.
Let's let Insomniac and Eidos Montreal handle it. We don't. Yeah. I mean, I don't even blame Crystal Dynamics. That's a different story.
Yeah, that's a different story. I will say, gameplay-wise, comes my second complaint, like true complaint. I had a lot of bugs and glitches.
I had a glitch too. I didn't have glitch. Well, I had one glitch in the gameplay, which was just really weird. I couldn't get to an item.
Yeah, I had that same glitch in that same area.
Yeah, we've gone over this before. The other glitch I had was an audio glitch, where luckily it was only on Groot. So I mean, we weren't missing any like important conversation because it's just I am Groot, but he wouldn't talk at all. So like Rocket would start translating for him, like, but Groot didn't say anything. So
telepathy.
It was odd, but at least it was that character, and all I had to do is restart the game, and it went away. So
yeah,
there was some bugs and glitches a little bit. That's probably why I'm not going to give it a perfect score. But it's not too bad. I'm curious, especially how much of this game was done, work from home style.
Yeah.
Which that's bound to happen in development right now, which is just because everyone's in a weird situation.
Yeah, I didn't have any game-breaking bugs or glitches.
No.
I had the same glitch in the same area in the caves where you would come off of that sliding section, like where you're like up against the wall, and then it would put you back into it, so you couldn't get over there. I literally had to like double jump glide to get over there just to skip that whole section. And then I had a couple graphical bugs where some of the Guardians' weapons stayed out all the time, even when they were in the Milano. So the first time it happened, it was Drax, and so he had his 2 daggers out, and he just kept them out. And so he'd like cross his arms, and there'd be jet daggers pointing out of his arms and stuff. Second time was Gamora, and then the third time was Rocket. And so, like, with the Rocket one, like, I'd call him up to the counter to do upgrades, and then he'd jump off the counter and leave, and he'd just pull his gun back out and just keep walking around.
He's ready, man.
And then aside from that, like there was a couple reloaded saves where I got like stuck in like a wall or something, but like
Yeah.
they were just so small. The checkpoints were pretty forgivable, so I never like lost too much progress or anything. So that is something to have note. I'm sure it's been patched out by now, being 2 months away from the release, but those things did happen and did affect my playthrough of it, at least in a minor way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we collectively love this game. It is a fantastic game. It's not going to take too much of your time. I finished
No,
it
it's
in
only
like,
about 15, 20 hours.
yep,
Something
yep.
like that. It's. I mean, if you've played, like an Uncharted, the original Last of Us, things like that, you're gonna be in like a familiar territory with that.
Yep. The story's good. The performances are good. Gameplay gets a little monotonous towards the end there. But towards the end, especially, like they throw cutscenes at you, like in the middle of like certain battles, and that just reinvigorates you because Star-Lord would do something stupid or fantastic, and you're like, all right, I'm in. Let's do it. Come on.
The dragon scene.
The dragon scene. The dragon scene. If there's one scene to play the game for, if there's one scene that screams 80s, it's the scene at the very end of the game with the dragon. And I don't want to say any more because it's just, it could be the cover of an 80s movie.
Yeah.
I actually played that scene twice because I was in the white and gold outfit that they put you in. Yeah. And I was like, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. I got to have him in his actual duds. So I actually reloaded the checkpoint, changed his costume back to the original, and saw it again. And it was so much better with his original stuff on.
Did you screenshot it?
No, I didn't screenshot it.
Well, that's what you're going to do on your next playthrough.
Yeah, I probably have to, yeah. But like as you can see from the smiles that we have and the laughter that we have, this game is just so much fun, and we felt like it was our duty with our limited platforms to talk about how good this game is, so more people go out and buy it. It's only going to get cheaper from here, so do yourself a favor if you're in between games and you were on the fence about this one, let this be your moment of like, okay, these people said that this game was good, so I'm gonna buy it. Because you'll have a good time. You'll have a good time. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, in terms of Marvel games, I mean, this is my favorite Marvel game at this point, which is still high praise considering it beat Spider-Man for me. I mean, you love Spider-Man so much.
I will say that it beats Spider-Man Miles Morales for me.
That's easy because I mean that game's just so short.
I will say that. I will say this is probably my second favorite superhero game.
Yeah, behind Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
That's what I said. For me personally, I do draw more to more linear, more like these choose your, choices type of game versus just open world. So because its gameplay loop is more what I enjoy, it had an advantage over Spider-Man. But I mean, it's still fantastic. Both are.
Yeah, I mean, this is just so much. It's so good. Like I said, as a Marvel fan, the next like couple years are going to be incredible. We got Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man 2's on the horizon, Wolverine's on the horizon. Like
this scares me as a DC fan.
Sorry about you, bud. Look forward to Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad kills the Justice League because that's all you got.
I'm not looking for it. Gotham Knights maybe, but Suicide Squad.
See, I think Suicide Squad looks more interesting than
Gotham Knights.
Than Gotham Knights, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so enjoy being a DC fan.
It's dark time.
Insomniac's making a freaking Wolverine game, so.
And the Spider-Man 2 game, they're not sleeping.
No, they're not. They took their name too seriously. Too seriously. And they're still working on an unannounced multiplayer project, too.
Yeah.
Probably Sunset Overdrive, too.
Probably. Hope so.
Nice. But let's wrap this up. What's your final score, my friend?
9.5.
9.5. I am also going to give Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy a 9.5. I think the only actual issues counting against it were just the bugs, in my opinion, and the late game kind of monotony.
Yeah, that's it. That's really it.
Mm-hmm. The story's good, performance is good, music really good. and even though the gameplay is monotonous, it's still fun.
Yeah. I mean, it really doesn't overstay. I mean, we eventually got monotonous, but once that monotony starts kicking in, the game doesn't have much longer to go. So it really knew when to end, which a lot of games don't these days.
Yes, that is 100% true. And it's telling that, I want to jump back in and play it again because, it was so much fun. And there's different choices that I have to make. So, and that's
ability.
Yep. I unfortunately have to pay the Nova Core on this one.
Oh, that'd be weird.
Because it's a trophy.
Oh, it's a trophy. I mean, yeah, so you got very completionist. You have to play the game through at least twice then.
Yep. So, but yeah, so Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, 9.5 out of 10. Go freaking play it. Please. Give Eidos Montreal the support that they deserve for making a kick-ass game.
Send a Square Enix message. This, not that.
Yes. No more live service Marvel games. No NFTs. Just make games, man. Just make games that are good and fun to play. Eidos Montreal, if you're listening, you're probably not, but if you are, if you're not working on Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, give us some DLC. Give us a DLC expansion. I'll pay $40 for a DLC expansion. Yeah. Do something a little like 6-7 hours of just like another villain and maybe some side stuff. I'd eat that up.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a new element in the gun. I'd eat that up.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to do it with the D-pad, but we'll figure it out.
Maybe they replace one of the elements or something.
True.
Because like after you get the thunder element, the ice element's kind of like.
I never used fire. Like fire was.
Oh yeah, I also never used fire either. Except on the big robot guys.
Yeah, when they told you to use it. So, better than that, no, really.
Yeah. But Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, go play it. It's great.
Yep.
Go play it.
Ain't much else to say about that.
Yep. Next up, we're probably going to do our year 2021 review, top games. We've got some games that both of us are trying to finish before that, so that we can include them in the conversation.
I'm sure I finished one game at this point, so.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit behind because I'm playing other stuff. So, but it's important stuff.
I mean, Danganronpa is important.
Exactly. And so and so that's also another video that we're having in the works is our Danganronpa 10th anniversary retrospective. So we'll be going through all of those games as well. So that's what you have to look on the horizon. Nick, where can the lovely people find you?
So you can find me at my Twitch mostly. It's _classified__. We also have a Twitter. It's __classified. And we also the YouTube channel, which this will be posted to. So if you're watching this on his channel, my YouTube channel is It's Classified Games, and that's where you can find me.
Yep. And you can find me on my Twitch at dandelion_777. If you're watching this video, you already found my YouTube, so congrats. And you can follow my Twitter at dandy_lion777 because I can't get the same names all the time, apparently. So, but thank you everybody for watching. Go and play Guardians of the Galaxy, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.